Welcome to Deb's Truth Journey. If this is your first time stopping by our channel, we encourage you to click the subscribe button and become a truth seeker with us. Now, let's get into today's video.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can talk to you about what I need to talk to you about. I just had my confessionals, my confessional message, and I do want to share what was on my heart to share before. I was just looking at, I've been looking at the negative responses and people being outraged at black people for saying they are Hebrew Israelites. And folks are getting so upset. And there's a couple of things that I have that bothers me about this whole situation. First of all, you can talk about any religion you want, but you can't say anything about Judaism. Judaism is a religion. It's not an ethnicity. And anybody can be a Jew, be Jewish. Anybody can be Jewish. They've always been an open religion that allows people to convert to it. The question is about the Israelites. And what came to mind today was with people getting so upset, like it absolutely can't be. I'm going to ask you this question, and then I'm going to say what I got to say, but I want to ask you this question. Show me in the Bible where it talks about Ashkenazi Israelites. Show me anywhere in the Bible where Ashkenazi Israelites, or how it connected the two. I would love to hear it. Please comment in the notes below. Let me know, because if I'm wrong, I will get back on here and say I was wrong. But from what I've seen about it, first off, when it comes to the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the Israelites, Japheth's descendants are not mentioned one time. Not one of Japheth's descendants are mentioned after the Tower of Babel in the book of Genesis. And that's the beginning. That's the book of the patriarchs, with the exception of Moses being in the other book. But nowhere in there, in the book of Genesis, after the Tower of Babel, is there any mention of Japheth's descendants, any of them. So something is wrong with that. And if Ashkenazi were Israelites, why wouldn't you be listed in that group? Why wouldn't you be listed with the group that was called the Israelites? So if I missed something, please let me know, and I promise you I will come back on this screen and admit that I was wrong. Also, something else I noticed in the Bible is that in Genesis, when they talk about, in Genesis chapter 10, when they talk about the genealogies, when they get to Ham and Shem, it all ends with, these are the sons of Ham and their families and their lands. But at the end of Japheth, it says, by these were the lands of the Gentiles filled, or something to that nature. It doesn't say the sons. I don't know if that means anything, but it was kind of odd that it said by these, the sons of. But with Japheth, it just says by these were the Gentiles that inhabited the lands. I'm saying all this to let you know there's something really, 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 really wrong with our history when you think about it. Everything is attributed to white people. White people are the minority in the world, first off, but everything down to Santa Claus, the good fairy, everybody is attributed to white people. Something's wrong with that. Santa Claus, a white Santa Claus, never slid down my chimney. For that matter, no Santa Claus has, but I digress on that. The thing is, white people control the media. So what we see is white Santa, white Jesus, white fairy godmother, white everything, because that's who controls the media. That does not make it true what they're showing us, but that is who controls the media. So we've got to be very careful not to get caught up in flim-flam. And our Bible has been what I call colonized to the max. Now, I'm not saying that they changed the wording. I'm talking the Old Testament, which is what I focus on most of the time, is the Old Testament. I'm not saying it's wrong. What I'm saying is the words used to interpret parts are different. They're not the best words to me. But the main thing I just wanted to tell you, my whole point was to share this story with you about Gamaliel. There's a story in the New Testament that when the disciples were praying, and they were told not to, Peter and John were arrested. This is in Acts chapter 5. Peter and John got arrested. And they said, well, why are you still praying? And they said, we will follow God. We won't follow man. We're going to follow what God told us to do. And he told us to do this. So, I'm over too far. Sorry, trying to back in and run in my mouth. And this lady trying to take that other spot, which I'm hauling. But anyway, they were arrested, and the people wanted to, they had them in jail already, but the people wanted to punish them. I think they wanted to, I don't know if they wanted to kill them or not, I don't remember. But anyway, Gamaliel, I think I'm saying his name correct, Gamaliel was a rabbi during that time. And he said, he told them to take them out of the room for a minute. And he talked to the Sadducees, Pharisees, whatever the C's they were. And he told them, he said, okay, he named two different people. One was a Theudas, 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 and the other one was somebody else. And he talked about how with them, they tried to do this, and a bunch of people followed them. And then when they were killed, the people scattered, and that was the end of that. Each person, he says, so the same will be here. Same will happen here. If these people are of naught, meaning what they are about is nothing, then it will die off. However, if it is not, if it is of God, then we're fighting against God. So his answer was to leave them alone. And if it's of naught, they'll die off. If it's of God, we don't want to bother it anyway. So that is what I'm saying to white people. If me, which you can't convince me of any other way. I am convinced that the Israelites are black. I am convinced that the Bible is about black people. It's for everybody, the lessons to be learned, but it is about black people. That missing history that we've been wondering where it is, it's in the pages of the Holy Bible. If us saying that the Israelites is black is about nothing, then nothing will happen with it. It'll die off. But if it's true and you're fighting against it, are you ready to answer to God? The people that have gone out of their way to downplay, to demonize black skin. When you get to heaven and you see that black skin and you see why the skin was black, then you'll have to answer for it. But in the words of Gamaliel, if it's of naught, leave it alone. If it's of God, leave it alone, because you're fighting against God. Love you, appreciate you, and in all your decisions, decide to win. See you on the next leg of the journey. Bye.